You can choose a life of ease and comfort, or you can choose a life of service and adventure. Which one of those when you're 90 years old?
Every package delivered to your door hides a story most people never hear. Amazon workers in blazing heat and freezing cold are pushed beyond their limits, sacrificing their health, their dignity, and sometimes even their lives to build Jeff Bezos' billion-dollar empire. In warehouses and delivery routes across the country, workers have collapsed and died on the job, while inside boardrooms, Bezos was busy enjoying a multi-million-dollar wedding and living a life far removed from the pain his workers endure. This is the harsh reality behind the convenience you take for granted, and what you're about to hear will change the way you see every Amazon delivery forever. Over 200 disabled corporate employees at Amazon have spoken up with serious concerns. They say their requests for help at work are not being handled by people anymore. Instead, they are being rejected by automated systems. No conversation, no explanation, just a cold denial. These requests are not extreme. Employees are asking for things like remote work, flexible hours, or quieter spaces to concentrate. A survey shared within the group shows that 93% of them feel harmed by Amazon's current policies. Even more shocking, 71% said most of their accommodation requests were rejected. Employees tried to support each other by creating a Slack group with over 13,000 members. It was meant to share experiences and push for better policies. But posts started disappearing. A petition they were working on was suddenly gone. One of the leaders was fired in the middle of an interview about this issue. His access to the company's chat system was cut off right away. One worker who had suffered multiple strokes asked to continue working remotely with full support from his doctor. His request was denied. The system decided that commuting was essential, even though his condition made it dangerous. Another employee who lives with chronic pain asked for a stool to sit on during long hours. That request was also rejected. The law says companies must talk directly with an employee about what they need and try to find a fair solution. These workers are asking for that simple human conversation. So far, they are only hearing silence from a machine. The concerns do not stop with Amazon's corporate offices. On the warehouse floors, the situation gets even more disturbing. During the extreme heat waves of 2022 and 2023, multiple Amazon warehouse workers died while on the job. One of the most tragic cases happened in New Jersey, where a 42-year-old employee collapsed during Prime Week in July 2022. It was over 90 degrees outside. Inside the warehouse, there was no proper air conditioning. He died after being taken to the hospital, and workers were told to keep working while paramedics were still on site. In another case, in August 2023, a worker in Southern California collapsed in a fulfillment center where temperatures reportedly reached above 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Fellow employees said there were no cold water stations nearby and no extra breaks provided. Instead of slowing down operations, they say managers increased the pressure to meet shipping targets. Despite these deaths, OSHA, the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, did not issue any citations to Amazon. Not one. This raised serious concerns among labor groups and health advocates. Some claimed that the investigations were too narrow or lacked urgency. In response, workers' rights groups filed lawsuits demanding full transparency. They want to see what Amazon reported, what was ignored, and why there was no accountability. These are not isolated incidents. In the summer of 2023 alone, Amazon logged hundreds of heat-related complaints across multiple states, yet operations kept running. Workers say the message was clear: packages come first, people come second. Now the question many are asking is how many more lives have to be lost before change actually happens. The issue with worker safety and well-being are closely tied to Amazon's approach to labor organizing. As heat-related deaths and harsh working conditions grab headlines, behind the scenes, the company is fighting hard to stop workers from joining unions. Recent investigations and worker reports reveal that Amazon uses advanced digital tools to monitor and control its employees. These tools include surveillance apps that track workers' movements and communications in real time. For example, employees have shared how their messages about union meetings or safety concerns mysteriously disappear from company chat platforms, making it harder to organize or share information. Amazon also uses predictive scheduling software to assign shifts and breaks in ways that can disrupt union activities. If the system detects that certain workers are becoming more involved in organizing, their schedules might be changed unexpectedly or their hours reduced. This makes it difficult for workers to meet or plan actions together. These tactics are not just rumors. A 2023 report by labor rights groups documented multiple examples where Amazon's algorithms were used specifically to discourage union drives. In one case, warehouse employees in Alabama described how the company used software to identify union supporters and isolate them from others. All of this happens while Amazon publicly claims to respect workers' rights. But many workers feel these digital strategies are designed to silence their voices and keep them from gaining a collective say in their working conditions. While workers are battling tough conditions and digital control on the ground, customers are facing their own struggles when dealing with Amazon services. One of the biggest complaints comes from how Amazon makes it easy to sign up for Prime, but incredibly difficult to cancel. The Federal Trade Commission, or FTC, has taken Amazon to court over what they call dark patterns. These are tricks in the website and app design that push people into keeping their Prime memberships longer than they wanted. For example, signing up for Prime can be done with a single click, but canceling requires going through 6 different steps. Amazon even gave this complicated cancellation process a code name, Iliad. The goal, according to the FTC, was to slow customers down by making quitting frustrating enough that many simply give up and keep paying. This practice is now part of an ongoing trial set for June 2025, and it could lead to big changes in how companies handle subscriptions online. This case shines a light on the power imbalance between giant corporations and everyday users. It shows that while Amazon uses cutting-edge technology to make money, the experience for customers is often confusing and designed to trap them into spending more. The FTC's lawsuit is just one example of growing scrutiny on how Amazon runs its business, not just in the workplace, but also in the digital marketplace. Beyond tricky subscription tactics, Amazon's use of technology to boost profits takes an even darker turn. Internal documents have revealed a secret algorithm called Project Nessie. This algorithm was designed to quietly raise prices on millions of products across the internet. According to these documents, Project Nessie helped Amazon extract more than $1 billion from customers by increasing prices without clear warnings. It allowed the company to adjust prices dynamically, often pushing them higher than what shoppers expected or competitors offered. This practice is now at the heart of a huge antitrust trial scheduled for October 2026. Regulators accuse Amazon of using Project Nessie to unfairly dominate the market and squeeze extra profits, all while hiding the true cost from consumers. The trial could reshape how online prices are set and how much control giant companies can have over everyday shopping. For millions of customers, this means the price they pay might not be as fair as they think. Taken together with workplace and consumer complaints, these revelations paint a picture of a company using advanced technology not just to innovate, but to push boundaries, often at the expense of workers and shoppers alike. In 2023, the Federal Trade Commission fined Amazon $5.8 million after a major privacy scandal involving Ring doorbell cameras. The case exposed how serious the company's security failures had become. According to the FTC's complaint, Ring employees and contractors had full access to customers' private video footage. This was not just front door recordings. In some cases, cameras were placed inside homes, including bedrooms and bathrooms. One employee watched thousands of these videos over several months. No one stopped him until a supervisor finally noticed unusual activity in the system. The problem was not just internal misuse. Hackers also took advantage of weak security settings to break into Ring accounts. Some were able to watch live video feeds, speak through the cameras, and even harass families in their homes. In one case, a hacker yelled threats at a child through the Ring speaker while the parents were away. The FTC said that Amazon failed to take basic steps to protect people's privacy. There were no strong limits on who could access the videos and no proper tracking to flag abuse. The company also made it difficult for users to secure their accounts by not enforcing features like two-factor authentication until after the damage was done. This was not a small glitch. It was a serious warning about how much power tech companies can have inside our homes. When even your bedroom camera is not safe, the question is not just about technology, it is about trust. The privacy scandal with Ring showed a troubling side of Amazon's power inside our homes. But the company's controversies did not stop at privacy or worker treatment. There's also a growing gap between what Amazon says about the environment and what it actually does. Amazon has made big promises about fighting climate change. It talks about reaching net zero carbon emissions and has a plan called Shipment Zero to make deliveries carbon neutral. Sounds great, right? But behind the scenes, things look very different. In 2023, Amazon quietly scaled back its Shipment Zero goal, pushing the targets years further into the future and lowering the percentage of shipments promised to be carbon neutral. At the same time, Amazon's cloud business, AWS, continues to provide powerful computing services to oil and gas companies and government contractors involved in fossil fuel projects. This means Amazon is directly supporting industries that contribute heavily to pollution and climate change. Employees inside the company and environmental activists accuse Amazon of greenwashing. That is, using impressive-sounding commitments and joining climate groups to distract the public while still lobbying against important renewable energy laws. For example, in Oregon, Amazon was part of efforts opposing bills that would promote clean energy and reduce emissions. This gap between promises and actions raises questions about whether Amazon's climate pledges are real or just a public relations move. Amazon's environmental promises might sound impressive, but not everyone is buying them. And the spotlight on the company's impact got even brighter with a very public display of extravagance. In June 2025, Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez held a 3-day wedding in Venice that cost an estimated $50 million. The event triggered global outrage for its massive environmental impact. Nearly 100 private jets flew guests in, while huge mega yachts handled logistics along the fragile Venetian canals. Local residents and news outlets condemned the wedding for adding to Venice's problem with over-tourism and pollution. The timing made the event feel especially tone-deaf, given ongoing economic struggles around the world. Celebrities like Rosie O'Donnell and Charlize Theron called the celebrations gross excess, criticizing the lavish spending while many people face hardship. Venetian activists organized under the name No Space for Bezos. They staged protests that were powerful enough to force the wedding reception to be moved from its original location. The backlash was not just about a single event, but a symbol of the extreme wealth and waste connected to Bezos and Amazon. All these controversies add up to a bigger story about power and control. But there's another battle happening behind the scenes that affects millions of small businesses. Amazon is currently under investigation by the European Union for allegedly favoring its own private label products over those sold by third-party sellers. Reports say the company uses data from these sellers to copy their best-selling items and then promotes its own brands, like Solomo, higher in search results. This means many independent sellers struggle to compete fairly, losing sales and sometimes even going out of business because they can't get a level playing field. With these investigations underway and more legal battles on the horizon, it is clear that Amazon's influence reaches far beyond just selling products. It affects workers, customers, and small businesses around the world. If you want to stay updated on this story and other major topics shaping our world, make sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications. We bring you the facts, the stories, and the voices you need to know. Don't miss what's coming next.